I will say this, though. If Embiid comes back and they get Milwaukee in the first round, it's going to get very interesting.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if we see an upset in the first round. If Embiid comes back and
Then you blow the team up if that happens at this point.
if Embiid comes back and he's close to 100% and they face Milwaukee Bucks in the first round, I might have to go with Philly. So the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, it is the next 3-4 weeks is going to be massive for standings, for where teams are going to be seated, because it's very close. The Eastern Conference is pretty much, when it comes to the first seed, it's a foregone conclusion. But then after that, everybody is pretty much close, except obviously the Atlanta Hawks and the Chicago Bulls that are in the play-in. But everybody else in the Eastern Conference is vying for that top 2 seed, those 2 to 5. It's really close. So let me find the standings real quick.
It's Bucks has 46 wins.
Yeah.
Cavs have 45. Knicks have 44. Magic have 42. Pacers got 42. Heat has 40.
Yeah, so all of these teams now, Miami, they don't have a chance. But when you look at 2 through 6, it's close. Those seedings can change. So it's going to be very interesting. Now, I'm not too excited about the playoffs because I think Boston is clearly the best team, and everybody else is just trying to catch up to them. When I look at the Western Conference, though, I see Minnesota is the number 1 seed. We already talked about it. They just beat Denver. OKC, they're number 2. Denver's number 3. They're all tied at 51 wins. Now, Denver is a half game behind, but you never know. I don't know what their schedule is, but they might play them again. Who knows? Clippers is the 4th seed. New Orleans is the 5th seed. Dallas is the 6th seed. Phoenix is the 7th seed. Sacramento's the 8th seed. Then we have the Lakers. Then we have the Golden State Warriors, who are a game ahead of the Houston Rockets that are coming. They are coming. So, yeah, man, the Western Conference standings is unbelievable right now. Yeah, when we get down to April, it's going to be a lot of hell. It's going to be a lot of hell. Who do you think? What are the seedings going to look at the end for the West and for the East? What do you think? How you see this playing out?
That is a fantastic question. For the first seed, I honestly can't call it, because you got the Thunder and Nuggets and the Timberwolves all tied at 51 wins. Obviously, Timberwolves have the tiebreaker over those other 2 teams. I could see the Timberwolves keeping that 1 spot, but also I could see the Thunder getting it. I got to see what the remaining games looking like. But as far as like honestly, I think the Clippers will get jumped. Not by just the Pelicans. I think the Mavs will jump them too, because the Clippers have just been on a downslide recently, and it's just they're not playing very good ball.
No, they're not. They have the Kings, they have the Nuggets, they have the Jazz, the Cavs, the Suns twice, the Jazz again, and the Rockets.
Yeah,
that's their remaining
honestly,
schedule.
shoot, they mess around being the play-in. Cause I don't know. It's the James Harden effect. People fall for it year after year, but it's just like you just gotta wait. You just gotta wait. It's gonna happen. You just have to wait. Now they talk about they don't know if they can meet. They don't want to meet Paul George's demands in the off season. So it's like, well, they're in trouble.
Yeah,
big trouble.
Yeah, they are in big trouble. I do think they'll avoid the play-in. I think they'll avoid the play-in.
I think they will barely.
Yeah, they'll barely. I feel like they'll be in that top. They'll either be in the 4 or 5. That's my prediction. Although they have been struggling, just looking at these teams, like the Kings, they could beat the Kings. Nuggets, the Nuggets are a weird team where they like to sit their players out whenever the Lakers need a team to lose and the Nuggets are playing them for whatever reason, the Nuggets just decide, oh yeah, I'm gonna just sit my Jamal Murray out or whoever out. So that game, I wouldn't be shocked if the Clippers win that game. Jazz, they'll beat the Jazz. Cavaliers, they could beat the Cavs. Suns are a dumpster fire right now. They are in a bad predicament, so I could see the Clippers sweeping them. The Jazz again, they could beat the Jazz. The Rockets, they could beat the Rockets. It could always go both ways, but I just think that the Clippers, this schedule, although they are struggling in a way, they just won their last two, albeit against Philly and I forgot the other team. It was Orlando.
Yeah,
Orlando. I do think they have the capability of winning enough games to avoid the play-in. That's just me. The team that I'm really looking at is Phoenix. I think they might be screwed because their schedule is awful. It's very difficult. I think they're in a world of trouble if they don't go on a run. Like, they can't lose. Man. It's just their schedule, man. It's just really difficult. You lose to the Thunder without Shea, that you should be concerned. And by the way, there's this person on Twitter, Laker fan, who he said, I don't know if it's he or she, but this person said that Frank Vogel was the perfect coach coach for the Lakers, and I'm like, are you not watching what the Suns are doing right now? We're literally only 2.5 games behind them.
Yeah.
They could possibly be in the position we are right now in like 2 weeks. So I don't know where this fan affair for Frank Vogel is coming from, because what he's doing right now is not that far off to what Darvin Ham is doing. So I don't get the whole fan affair for Frank Vogel when they're only 2.5 games ahead. And if they in this tough stretch, if they lose some games, guess what? The Lakers might jump over them. So I don't get it. I think revisionist history.
Yeah, I was about to say that
because we won a championship. And because, the defense was so great when he was the coach. But you have to understand, like, Frank Vogel, he's not – Frank Vogel's not the worst coach in the world, but he is so reliant on having the best talent. Like, if he doesn't have the best talent at his disposal, he's not gonna elevate nobody. His X's and O's are not that great. Like, offensively, specifically, he's not good when it comes to offense. So, like, defense, he's pretty solid. But if he doesn't have the requisite talent at his disposal, he's going to get exposed. He's going to do some crazy stuff. I remember he was reluctant to play many bigs when he was on the Lakers. Like, he was reluctant to play any bigs when he was on the Lakers, when he was coaching the Lakers. So all this Frank Vogel love, I just don't understand it. I just think people are upset.
Yeah, they just don't like Darvin Ham.
Nah,
they don't like the ham sandwich.
I don't like Darvin Ham either, but come on now. I remember what people were saying before Frank Vogel got fired.
Oh, yeah.
People wanted him gone. Golden State, I already told you this. I'm not sold on Golden State. They're not that talented, and their schedule is.
The Rockets have won their last 10.
Yeah, they've been sensational. They've been really good, man. Been really good. They have the Mavericks next game.
I think Mavs won. But speaking of sensational, the Mavs have been sensational too. They won their last 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
So they've been playing some good ball, man. A lot of doubts was had about the Kyrie and Luka duo, but as you can see, it can work out, man.
Daniel Gafford was a big pickup for
Yeah.
them. Added size. If the he could have been good for the Lakers. I tell you that.
I'm telling you,
Damn.
like, their paint defense is like really good.
Yeah.
Like they held Sabonis the last 2 times they played him. He had like 12 points and only 10 rebounds, like almost both games. And Jokic, he had 16 that one game,
Mm-hmm.
and like he ain't do all that well. The last time they played him either.
Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford have been really good for them in the interior. I just wish the Lakers were able to trade for a Daniel Gafford. You know, we need size, and we just like nope. But this isn't a Laker topic. But yeah, man, the Mavericks. I'm glad that you mentioned the Mavericks last week because I do like the Mavericks as well in the Western Conference. They've been playing really well because, you know, like a month ago, they were really struggling.
Yeah.
They weren't winning that whole much, but it seems like they found an identity. They found some chemistry when it comes to Luka and Kyrie and everybody else, and they've just been doing well ever since. I do think they're one of the scary teams in the Western Conference that you do not want to face.
You know what makes them scary is that they're so good down the stretch.
Yeah, they got them two dudes,
Yeah.
man. They got two closers.
Exactly.
That's the problem when you face the Mavericks. That's why if my team makes the playoffs, like there are maybe 3 teams that I'm looking at, I'm like, I don't want to face them. One of them is the Mavericks, 2 is the Nuggets, and 3 is the Timberwolves because the talent and also just the ability to close is why I don't want to face the Mavericks, dude. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to face Kyrie and Luka. They both of them go off 30, and you just be like, oh dang, how are we supposed to stop these dudes?
Right, and how many teams have the guard defenders to even make it difficult?
Exactly.
So that's man.
And you ain't gonna get much in the paint.
No.
So
It's gonna be a very difficult day for whoever has to match up with the Mavericks in the playoffs because Kyrie is experienced, Luka is experienced, Jason Kidd's been there before. It's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a very long day. All right, and then we have New Orleans, who's been on a tear even without Brandon Ingram.
Zion is finally taking that leap that we all wanted him to.
Mm-hmm.
He has been killing it recently. Except for that one game against the Heat, he only had 4 points. But I don't know. Did they lose that game?
No, they won the game.
Okay.
That was the game where that was without BI. Literally, like right after BI got injured and stuff like that.
Like his last
they cooked
3,
him.
28 points, 9 for 15, 29, 10 for 17, 36 points. He was 13 for 14. Like Zion is hooping right now.
Yeah, he is definitely hooping right now, and you got to, man. We already talked about it before about Zion and just
he's healthy.
Yeah, he's healthy, and he slimmed down. He slimmed down. He's in shape.
They say he lost
like 30 pounds.
Yeah, 30 pounds since November or something.
Something like that. Ever since the play-in tournament, he's been getting in shape, which is good because we need him to do that. I'm still not all the way sold. You know, I'm hearing. I already mentioned before, but I'm hearing just this buzz about Pelicans being a sleeper team. I'm still not all the way there yet because I'm just not a believer in Zion and BI in the playoffs. I have to see it. Those are the two dudes. Those are the X factors when it comes to the playoffs. You need your star players to perform up to task, and I don't know if they are ready yet. I know BI has been in the playoffs before, and I think he did he play the Warriors in the first round one year? I forget who it was, but I remember Zion got hurt, and BI had to do it on his lonesome.
I think that was the Clippers, was that?
Whoever it was, I remember the Pelicans faced a really good team in the first round. They were like the 7th to 8th seed, and Brandon Ingram had a really good showing those games. But I don't know if he can replicate that when you have Zion on the court and you're trying to figure out, okay, is it my turn? Is it your turn? I'm still questioning if those two guys can get it done. If they can get it done in the playoffs, then they have a hell of a chance to do something special because they have the pieces. They have the wing defenders. They have a closer in C.J. McCollum. He can hit big shots. You have a solid coach in Willie Green. You have the pieces. You have depth. It's just about those two guys. They need to step it up. You need your star players to play well.
Oh yeah.
If they don't, then you're screwed, especially in the Western Conference. On the East, Philly they really need Joel Embiid back. I don't know how it's going to work because they're like the A7 or AC
The
right now.
AC, yeah.
Yeah.
The East just man.
Fortunately,
Even the Bucks is like ugh.
fortunately for Philadelphia 76ers, the Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks, like they are so far behind them, so I don't see those two teams even taking over the 8th seed because they're just way behind them. So that's good for them, but it's unfortunate that Joel Embiid is hurt right now because they were like a top 4-3 seed when Embiid was healthy, and now that they're within the 8th seed, it's just terrible. It's just unfortunate to see that. But I will say this though: if Embiid comes back and they get Milwaukee in the first round, it's going to get very interesting.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if we see an upset in the first round. If Embiid comes back and
You blow the team up if that happens at this point.
if Embiid comes back and he's close to 100%, and they face Milwaukee Bucks in the first round, I might have to go with Philly.
I can't blame you.
Nick Nurse, he's the Giannis stopper. He knows the formula to beat Giannis.
Which is
Pause.
Just put up a wall.
Yeah. I like the 76ers chances. Now against Boston,
No.
they have a shot because Boston, again, a lot of one-on-one ball. They make a lot of mistakes when it matters most. And I do like Nick Nurse as the coach. They've really upgraded when it comes to the head coach. I think Nick Nurse is a significant upgrade to Doc Rivers. I think situationally he's a lot better. I think defensively, the X's and O's, he's a lot better. So when they face Boston, Boston obviously has the edge, and I'm gonna probably pick Boston, but I wouldn't be shocked if that series goes 7 games. Because I like the coaching of Nick Nurse. I think the talent is also good enough where they compete against Boston. Tyrese Maxey has elevated his game, and I like their chances. I really do. I really like their chances.
The Celtics did just lose 2 to the freaking Hawks.
Yeah.
What the heck is that all about?
I don't know. But
One came off of the DeJounte Murray game winner, but the other one, they just outright beat him.
yeah, and then everybody else, I'm not really too. I mean, the Knicks, they're a wild card because
The Knicks
they can play
be,
defense.
Sometimes you look at the Knicks and like, man, this team is. And another time it's like, well, it's the Knicks.
It's because they're always hurt. They don't have their top guys except Jalen Brunson. And see, what's going to come down to the Knicks is their team going to be healthy. Because they have everybody assembled, it's going to be dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
They might go to the Eastern Conference Finals if they have everybody assembled. That's going to be the thing with the Knicks is their health. OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, is everybody going to be there when you need them? And see, that's why they're still battling out to try to get to that number 2 seed, because if they had everybody, they would easily have the 2 seed by now. I like the Knicks. It's just about health at the end of the day. And everybody else, I'm not really looking too much into. I'm not sold on Orlando.
I am not moved by the Cavs. I'm going to be honest.
I'm not moved either. I'm not a believer. Yeah, a lot of these teams are. They are a. It's because the East is weak. Let's be honest. They are a product of a bad conference. Because a lot of these teams, I'm just not sold on. The Knicks have a formula that you can win with. Milwaukee is just, they're good one week, they're bad another. They're too up and down. Philly, it's all about Joel Embiid. Miami, I don't know what the hell is going on with Miami. I don't know if they're just cruising until the playoffs, cruising until April. I don't know what that's all about. And Yeah, everybody else I'm not
The
sold on.
Magic is just
Yeah,
it's the
I'm
Magic.
not sold on I'm not sold on the Magic. They having an amazing season. They have over exceeded expectations. Paulo has been sensational. Wagner, all those other guys, they've been sensational, man. But
Don't let the advanced stats Twitter hear you say Paulo was sensational. I did not realize how much they don't like that guy.
really,
Yeah. They say he's inefficient and like his it's like some off numbers is not good and all that stuff. So
man,
yeah, a lot of the stat guys don't like Paulo.
wow, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
mean,
I was surprised to see it too. I was like, huh, interesting.
he has that old, maybe because he has that old school
It might be,
2000s
yeah.
type of style. Nowadays these stat junkies, they don't like that. They don't like that old school 2000s Carmelo, Kobe, T Mac, Vince Carter style of play because it wasn't efficient enough for them. So yeah, man, I don't know. All I know is that Orlando, they've overexceeded expectations. I just don't see them going far in the playoffs. I don't see them winning a. I don't think they go in the second round. I don't think they go in the second round.
So.
Indiana, they can't guard nobody. I don't see them going in the second
and
round.
Halliburton is playing hurt. So.
Yeah, he's playing hurt. Siakam's playing a little bit better, maybe because he played the Lakers, but I don't know. Yeah, Siakam, he's on and off. I just look at the teams that really scare me in the East. It's like Boston, Milwaukee, New York, Philly, and Miami.
I'm not scared of them. I like the Bucks, but if I'm going against the Bucks, I'm not too worried. Like if I'm like a team like the Heat, I'm not scared. Yeah, I'm not scared.
Or New York.
Yeah.
Or New York. Or listen, I'm just looking at the teams that where I'm saying they can win a playoff series.
Okay.
Everybody else, I'm not confident they'll win a playoff series. Like
we might get a. I think preemptively, I think we'll get a Celtics Knicks conference finals.
The Celtics Knicks conference finals.
You got to get some
I
of us
don't
in
know.
the Eastern
I
Conference. That's
don't
like
know.
the only series that can really, in my opinion, like moves the needle and brings back a kind of a historic franchise type.
We need OG. They need OG. They're not making the conference finals without OG. They're just not. They're just not. They don't. They need OG to make the conference finals.